Hello everybody, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Satisfactory. This is the highlights, or recap, rather, of the stream from June 2nd, 2021, which I believe was part 16? I'm currently recording this the day after because a lot of issues happened last night on stream. First of all, I forgot to start recording at the beginning, so I started recording like halfway through the stream where we already had a bunch of stuff done. Number two, one of the factories is a complete mess that we set up last night. And number three, I accidentally ended the recording when I went to pause it. And one time I forgot to unpause it, and a whole bunch of other things. It was just a huge mess. So it's going to be a lot easier and a lot more convenient for me personally, and probably more convenient for you guys. Note to self, never save and exit on a ladder ever again. More convenient for me and more convenient for you guys if I just go through everything one more time in a separate video. So we're going to go over to where we started last night and do an overview of everything. So we are back now where everything started, over at the temporary computer factory, except it's been turned into more of a spaghetti monster mess than it used to be beforehand. And it was already a pretty big mess with just the computers, and now it's an even bigger mess thanks to the Heavy Modular Frames setup that we have going on. So there's the two that are making 4 Heavy Modular Frames per minute, right alongside the two that are making 5 computers per minute. And we have a bunch of machines. So we've got iron being taken from over there, you can kind of see the miners. We've got limestone being taken and turned into concrete over there. And we've got iron coming underneath the floor, being combined with the petroleum coke byproduct of the computer factory in order to make steel in this very, very bizarre way. And it's being made into iron plates, with some of the steel being made into screws, and that's the steel. It's a mess. It's just a mess. It's very hard to follow, but basically some of the steel gets turned into beams, and then some of the beams go that way and get turned into screws for the heavy modular, or for the modular frames, and some of the screws make reinforced iron plates, which go into the modular frames, and then some of the screws go straight across and over to the heavy modular frame factory. Hey, there's one now. The rest of the steel makes pipes. Some of the pipes go straight to our dear friends, the heavy modular frames, and some of the pipes go to the encased beams, which is an alternate recipe, also to make modular, or heavy modular frames. But this whole thing is just an absolute mess, and trying to figure it out was really rough, and I didn't pay that much attention to chat, so I am very sorry for that. I'm gonna do better tonight, I promise. Here's the machines. It looks like they're all backed up, which is weird because I don't think anything is overdone. I don't think anything should be oversaturated. It looks like the computers are on full production as well, which means the heavy oil residue is on full production, which means the petroleum coke is on full production, which means the steel is on full production. And a little bit more than just full production, apparently, because the steel pipes are backed up, which is fun. So this was a whole absolute mess. I even had to extend this out a bit, and I took this iron underneath, just on the floor, and there's a refinery just sitting on the ground over there. It's a mess. It's a whole mess. The other one's more organized, so let me go show you that. Alright, and now we're back over here, which, fun fact, this is the same lake that we built our mega base on in the Killing Time save. So that's fun. It's nice to be back in this area that I'm at least somewhat familiar with in terms of mega structures and everything. We've got 810 iron coming in, and it's all getting smelted along this side. Half of it goes into plates, and the other half of it goes into steel, which is way over there. You can't even see it yet. Now you can kind of start to see that those are all foundries around the back there. We've got coal coming in from the mountaintop way over there in the distance. And I mean way over there. I got this entire factory done, fun fact, and then realized that I forgot to get the coal. So all of the machines were set up, and I was ready to turn it on and connect the power lines, which was a whole monster, by the way. And then I was like, ah, shit, I never actually got coal. My bad. Let me go do that real quick. We're also grabbing limestone from over there in the same area. You can only see one of the miners. You can kind of see the other one poking through the trees there a little bit in the center of the screen. But it's merging together. That's a 240 line, which is more than we need. We've got water coming up from underneath. You can see a hole in the floor over there. And I'll go down and show that in a second. Some of the steel goes into around the back of the refineries, actually, and into these three machines, making steel beams, which you can see, which go into all the constructors out the back there, making screws for different things. Some of the screws, as you can see, go into the reinforced iron plates. Some of the screws, as you can clearly see with the 4 lines of them, go into making the modular frames. And 3 of the screws get fed underneath the machines, underneath the floor of the factory, and sent over directly to the heavy modular frames. This system makes 6 per minute, fun fact. And then obviously we've got pipes going on with all of this steel. That's what all these constructors are for. I think there's like 16 of these? I don't remember. It's a lot though. And then we've got 8 making encased beams and 6 making modular frames, which is all very, very fun stuff. It didn't take super long to set this up. I mean, the only 2 things that we did on stream last night was this, and then was the other modular frame one, which was just an absolute disaster zone mess kind of deal. Here's the underfeeding system, and there's the water. Fun fact. I'm almost out of jetpack fuel, by the way. Here's all 3 of the machines making the heavy modular frames, which is absolutely wonderful to see. They should all be at peak production, except for the fact that they kind of aren't, which is weird. Are they not getting enough limestone, maybe? They should be. This system's correct. This system is definitely correct. Well, they're not getting enough pipes. I wonder if I connected the wrong pipe to the wrong thing. Oh, those just straight up aren't getting steel. Ah! Well, that certainly explains things, doesn't it? Oh my god. Sometimes I'm embarrassed to say that I have almost 500 hours in this game because of stuff like that. That was great. I'm really good at this game, y'all. Give me just a second here, and I will give you guys another update once we can actually see those machines making stuff properly. Well, it looks like the machines are actually running properly now. I'm very smart in the fact that I forgot to hook up a belt. And I was not lying earlier when I said this. I have 497.1 hours in Satisfactory. 497.1. Oops, infinity screen. Sorry about that. My bad. It was just for a second. 497.1 hours. A lot of that is in 3 saves, specifically. but a lot of that now is in the mega save. We are at 66 hours in the mega save, which is crazy to me. 66 hours, 113 in the killing time save, and we just got to aluminum. 133 in the Dune Factory, which is a complete Update 3 save. And my starter save, 118, which was a completed Update 3 save as well. That's a lot of hours. Tonight on stream, we're actually going to hit 500 hours. Fun fact. I'm very excited to be hitting 500 hours tonight. That is going to be a large accomplishment on my part. But that's really all that we did last night in terms of progress and everything else. Also, I'm out of jetpack fuel, so we're gonna get that blinking nonsense out of here. At this point, we're just waiting for the Heavy Modular Frames to craft and the computers to craft in order to unlock and make a whole bunch of stuff in the hub. And then we're gonna be heading over to the fuel generators and starting on that project. So tonight, I believe the only things I have planned are starting on this and running infrastructure over to it, aka running a train line, which is gonna go, I don't know, it'll probably start here, just because this is a nice kind of open flat area that I don't have a factory, and then the train line's just kind of gonna run willy-nilly up through this area and over to where the fuel gens are going to be. Because that'll be a really easy way to get back and forth fast with lots of items, so less than one trip at a time, basically. I can just take a bunch of shit over with me at the same time, and that's going to be great. And it's also going to be a power source. And in addition to the power source, I can split off a train right here because there's some bauxite and aluminum stuff that I'm going to be doing once we unlock tier 7 and 8. That's really the extent of my plans for the save and for tonight until we get to endgame. I have a huge plan in endgame for over here in the swamp relating to nuclear power. And depending on how my computer handles the fuel, we're going to be deciding how big we want that nuclear project to be. And then I have a plan up here in the Dune Desert for very, very end game with the nuclear pasta. And we'll judge how big we want that project to be based off of how my computer performs. Which right now, we are performing pretty well. 40-ish FPS, 50-ish FPS over here, and if we go back to the hub area, we get up to 60 and 70 FPS because we're far away from all of this nonsense that's going on. So we'll see how it handles all of the liquid in the pipes and stuff for the fuel and everything along those lines, and pretty much go from there in terms of plans for the rest of the season. In addition to that, though, I want to show that our power is kind of crazy. Our max consumption is well exceeding our max production, including the biomass capabilities, and our actual consumption is pretty much touching our fuel gens. So that's a lot of fun as well. But that is going to wrap up everything I had for this video, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, because I know I sure did, and I know I sure am going to keep enjoying playing Satisfactory. I'm going to try to be more active in chat tonight, because I know that that was a pretty big issue last night, and I wasn't really great at that. I'm sorry about that. I'll do better, I promise. And I hope to see you out in the stream, so have a wonderful one.